All right.
Hey, my amazing Facebook friends and family and followers and supporters. It's just 4 days until it's Power of Collaboration 2019, and I have with me here in studio Jacek and Jack, and
Yes.
there's two of them. But Jacek is my co-host of the Power of Collaboration, and he's gonna be bringing so much to you. And I wanted to have this opportunity, and thank you for coming into the studio today.
Thank you for inviting me.
And we'll talk a little bit about your story and what inspired you to take on this journey, because you're a successful businessman back home. You came, you reinvent your
Yes.
whole everything. There's a new you learn a new language. So I know nothing about that, and,
Right.
and that's huge. And so you can tell us what are we? Let's talk about what we're doing now at the Power of Collaboration. Then we'll track back a little bit into how'd you got here.
Okay. I came from Poland. I was born in Poland. I came here in '96, not because I wanted a better quality of life. I actually came out of desperation.
Okay.
I don't want to get too detailed in the story.
Uh-huh.
You will hear more if you come. Okay?
Yes,
You'll
yes.
find out, more details of what pushed me to come here, and it was not pretty at the very beginning. So I started with nothing. I came with a little bag full of summer clothes, and we really struggled. And for every immigrant that came with similar story, and there's so many people out there that come to different country with absolutely nothing, right? And they have to meet enormous obstacles. They have to first learn the new language. They don't have a lot of times social insurance number. They don't have all the papers. They don't
Yes.
have the support group. They have to say goodbye to their friends and family, which is very painful. They feel homesick,
Yes.
right? So an immigrant has to overcome so many challenges that somebody who's born into the country, they don't even think about those
Right,
things because
right.
they just take it for granted.
Mhm.
Like, of course I speak the language. Of course
Right.
I know how much things cost. Of course I know,
Yes.
the education. Of course I know the city. But you come, you feel so lost
Of
because you don't know how much things are costing. You don't know the language. You don't know who to talk to. You don't have any friends. You start with nothing. You feel like a baby.
Yeah, it's a
basically,
grown-up,
right?
a baby in a grown-up body.
Right,
So
and
then there's pressure there too.
oh, of course. And I think one of the major challenges is that you're not an idiot, right?
Right.
You can
Because you
think
left
straight.
a lot of stuff back home and you came here.
That too. And when you're thinking straight, but you can't express yourself because you're thinking in a different language, you speak a very simple language, right? You say, my name is, and how are you? And then you try to speak, the very basics, and you sound like a little baby, right?
Right,
The baby,
right,
when the baby's
right.
learning how to speak, that's what they learn.
Of
Like,
course.
this is a chair, this is this. And overcome those challenges, it takes humility, it takes time, it takes a lot of work, it takes a lot of practice, right? But the main thing between somebody who immigrates and somebody who just goes for a visit is the commitment.
Right.
That is the biggest difference. Because somebody who's going for vacation to another country, they're there for a short period of time.
Yes.
And I wish I was here. You go to Hawaii, it's like, wow, such a beautiful place. I
Yes.
wish I could live here. You come back, you have less money, and then you gotta pay off your vacation, right? But you've never been committed to living in Hawaii. So the difference between somebody who immigrated and somebody who visited the country is the commitment.
Yes.
That's the biggest difference. And I realized that at one point, that same story of an immigrant, it's almost identical to people who want to be successful.
Okay, so you took out the whole process from actually immigrating, and anyone can apply this to just
Absolutely.
be successful.
Absolutely.
And your company is called now Immigrate to Success.
Yes.
And this is brilliant. You lived it. You pulled yourself through it, and it was the hardest possible scenario, I think.
Right.
Being an immigrant. So you're here now teaching how can anyone go from who you are to successful.
Yes.
By just go. What, deep dive, jump in, hands
Well,
in? Well, you probably
Yeah.
have systems and strategies
Yes,
and step by
absolutely.
step. Let's give our viewers a shout out. Emilio Roman, he's coming in from New
Hi,
Jersey.
Emilio.
New Jersey, he's coming
Yes.
in for event and book launch, and
Oh, wow,
you're going to
awesome.
be seeing him. We have Delvin Valentine from Jamaica. We have Wayne. We have Jim Hetherington. He's coming in from Cambridge. We have Lori K. Grant, and she's going to be sharing stage with us. She's phenomenal. And we have many amazing. Joseph is watching, my co-author. Me and Joseph are launching 2 books together, actually.
Oh, fantastic.
Yeah, it's so much going on. And it's an honor to have you be a major part of this event as co-host.
Mm-hmm.
So this helps me a lot in terms of taking away some of the heavy lifting and the backhand, and you're helping me so much in structuring this event, and that's an honor for me too. I've thrown an event together by myself, and it's tough, it's difficult,
right?
And doing it together as a joint venture it's amazing. It helps financially, it helps mentally. When there's a roadblock, we can lean on each other, and there's obviously, this is what I'm going to be teaching to, how to throw profitable events, and that's something I covered in my last book. You've written books yourself. Tell me about this.
Well, this is how we've met, actually. This was when I was launching my book. This was so interesting because my next step after writing the book was to run an event.
Rosemary, thank you for watching. I want to see you this weekend. I send you a text message, like that was me, like at 3 a.m. sending you an invite.
This guy's crazy. So it was amazing because I wanted to write a book. I kept pushing it forward, all the time, procrastinating. Finally, I'm like, okay, I'm doing it, right? And when I was launching my book, I'm like, okay, my next step is I want to run a seminar. But unfortunately, I'm running so many businesses, and I had very tough situation at home with major health issues of my family. So it was always tomorrow. I'm like thinking, I need somebody to help me. I need to collaborate with somebody else. I need to partner with somebody else to create a seminar, right? And this guy comes up to me and he says, listen, I saw you on the stage, I saw you launch this book, amazing idea, I love what you do, let's do a seminar together. And I'm like, woo! The universe answered. It's crazy how sometimes, you're putting an intent out there and then it shows up in your life, right? And, we connected right away and boom, it's happening,
and,
right?
In less than 3 months, we have an event going on together that we're co-hosting together.
Right.
I'm
very excited.
Not only is just me and you, we have leaders from across the globe flying in. So if you're watching this, it's great. But if you can drive in, if you're in the, we have somebody from the Philippines watching right now, and that's the power of technology. And don't worry, Philippine viewers, and if you're super far away, I will be doing some video live clips, but I can't give all the meat and potato away. He wouldn't like it because he actually charged high bucks to teach what he teach. But you know what? There's gonna be a way. If you're my friend and you have not connected with Jack yet, go ahead and click on he's tagged, add him as a friend, say, I saw your live video with Raymond and I like your topic about immigrate to success. Tell me more and tell us more, Jack.
Well, I tell you what, I see people are being so scared of taking the next step because simply they don't know the path. They're like, I don't know if I'm gonna be good at this, I don't know. It's just the fear of unknown a lot of times takes over, right? And what I love about the idea of bringing a metaphor is the fact that people know the path, right?
Yes.
So they can imagine, okay, immigration, it requires certain paperwork, it requires learning the language, it requires saying bye to your friends and family, it requires the commitment. You have so many things you already know about immigration.
It's fundamental.
And it's the same thing with success.
Yes.
You realize, you know what? Sometimes I gotta say goodbye to certain friends and family. Sometimes I gotta do certain paperwork. Sometimes, you're gonna have to learn a language. Successful people speak different language. They communicate totally differently.
I'm getting wow, what a metaphor.
This is why
it is a
I love
different
it.
language.
Because when people realize, hey, I know the path.
You have to unprogram and reprogram quite a bit.
Exactly. And when people know the path, they're like, oh, yeah, if I was successful, let's say, at immigrating to Canada, right? And many of you who are watching had to do this, then it's the same path to immigrate it to the next level.
Right.
You just take the knowledge that you already have, apply it in this sense. It's like, okay, I gotta get new friends, I gotta get different paperwork, I gotta learn the language, I gotta learn how to communicate. You gotta do the same things to go to the next level, and then guess what? You know the path you go, right? The fear of unknown disappears.
Wow.
So I'm very excited about sharing this with you. And I think, what is the biggest gift of being successful is freedom.
Freedom, friends and family. So have to spend time with family also.
Because when you have success, for me, how I define success,
Okay.
is life on your terms. When somebody else dictates you how you have to live, what time you gotta wake up, what time you gotta go to bed, how long you gotta work, and where you're gonna go to the washroom, and how long you can eat. Somebody else owns your life. But the moment you decide how you want to live your life, how much time you're gonna spend with your family, where you're gonna take them on vacation, what kind of home you're gonna live in, not somebody else telling you what you can or cannot afford.
That's what God intended first.
I believe so. I believe that
dominion, right?
We're creating our own life, and I think this is the biggest thing for people who want to be business owners. They want to be free. Unfortunately, I see this as such a pain for people because they become basically highly employed by their own business. The business owns them.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
They have the mentality to be self-employed, but not realizing they're slaves to their business.
Yes.
There is and I spoke about this in my chapter, and there's a huge difference between self-employed and owning a corporation.
Absolutely.
Corporation, you can step right out and look over it, and it's all functioning. It's systems.
Exactly. You got it right.
And we have some amazing people watching. Divya, my wife, is watching from New York.
Hey.
Michael McBean says, Jack, thanks, man. Can't wait to connect with you. Michael is phenomenal. He's gonna be at the event. He's gonna be speaking. He's part of the last book that I launched.
Awesome.
The Entrepreneur book, and he's from Jamaica. Recently migrated here, and I know he's jumping for joy now, connecting with you because you can help him.
Yes.
Like he's been working with me, but. How did you become who you are today? Like did you just wake up one day and become this mean machine that's ready to transform people into success right away? What did you do to make yourself like this? Well, obviously he didn't even know English maybe 10 years ago.
It's you know what, people look for inspiration. People look for somebody that will I found this inspiration and I saw this rich guy and he inspired me and I followed his steps and that's how I became successful. I studied successful people. People first, before I became successful. And guess what? 90% of them became successful out of desperation.
Yeah, it's kind of last resort or there's no other option.
That's exactly right.
Or rock bottom and that's it.
Why do people immigrate?
Yeah.
Why do people immigrate?
Yeah, nobody. I didn't come here. I didn't leave my homeland with a suitcase of clothes and that's it, and like $200 in my pocket because of.
Most people immigrate because they're desperate. When their life is comfortable, right? They don't want to go to another country and start from scratch,
right?
Because they're comfortable. But the moment war breaks out in their country, you're seeing millions leaving, right?
Yes.
And it's the same thing when it comes to success. People become desperate because they realize, you know what, I cannot afford to live like this anymore. And it was the same thing with me. I was making minimum wage. I was driving to Oro Medonte every day, waking up for it.
What that is.
That's north of Barrie, man.
Okay.
And like working on a guy's cottage, right?
Yes.
And then I was waking up 4 o'clock in the morning. Like he was dictating everything about my life. I was exhausted every day. And then I realized, you know what? My wife is pregnant. I'm living with my in-laws' basement. What I'm making pays for my rent and my car, which I need to go to work. And the moment the baby's born, I can't afford food.
Wow.
And I felt like a failure. I felt like a failure as a man, as a husband, as a soon-to-be father. Right? That moment, I'm actually starting to feel emotional now because that was the moment when I felt I failed. I felt people I love. And out of that desperation came in moments like, I've got to change it. And it's no longer, I should change this. It becomes, I must change it.
Wow. And it's come from within you.
It has to come within. If somebody comes from outside, it's like, here's the opportunity and here's what you can do and look at what beautiful life you can have. Unless you have the proper motive to go to the next level, you won't move. I can give you the best blueprint there is. You won't move. I can tell, it's like every time I go back to Poland and I see people struggling over there and I say, listen.
You're right where you left them.
Yeah, I'm like, listen, you can even work for me if you want. You know, like I'll help you fill out the paperwork. You know, you wanted to immigrate. I know you wanted to. You came for a visit. You loved the life we have here. They won't do it. They're too comfortable where they are.
Comfort zone.
Right?
Yeah.
And they're like, you know what? They don't have that inside strong desires. Like, you know what? It must change. So I realized there was basically 3 steps to success. 3 M's. I call it 3 M's.
Wow.
I'll share them with you right now, but I will also share that at the event. The number 1 is a motive. If somebody doesn't have a motive to move, I don't care what strategy you give them. I don't care what tools you give them. I don't care how much money you give them. They will not move forward. People win lotteries and they lose all the money, declare bankruptcy.
Motive.
You gotta have the right motive, right? Once you have the right motive, then you look for solutions instead of excuses, right? So you have the right motive. The next one is a mindset.
Mindset. Wow.
You gotta have the right mindset.
Somebody say,
right?
Comment in the comment section. Say motive. Motive. Hashtag motive. Hashtag mindset. So somebody rewatching this gonna know, like, we're dropping real big nuggets here. Jack is, and Jacek is, and hashtag motive and mindset. Right. Motive, mindset.
Yeah. So those are the 2, but of course you need mechanics. Those are the 3M, right?
Mechanics to make the moving parts.
Of course.
Yeah.
You need the blueprint. You need to know how. A lot of people, they're very motivated. They're desperate to move. They might even have the right mindset, but they don't have the tools, right? And this is what we provide. We provide them. Help you to find the motive. If you don't have the motive, I won't work with you. I don't think anybody will, because I know you won't last.
Thanks, Lizzie.
Right? You will start maybe on the journey, but the moment it becomes hard, if you don't have the right motive, you won't last a long term, right?
Wow.
So you need the motive, you need the mindset, you need the
mechanics.
All 3 will get you to from where you are to where you want to be, and we'll teach that at the event. And please come.
Yes.
If you're sitting on the fence, let me tell you this: if you're sitting on the fence and you're wondering, should I come or should I not? Because maybe it's too expensive. You will pay for your ignorance, for lack of knowledge, 100, if not 1,000 times more. That's when I realized, when I had absolutely nothing, 0, I had credit card debt that I was scared to tell my wife about because she didn't even know.
Right.
Okay? And I realized, you know what? I've got to change this. Right? I realized that there's people who are successful. I wanted to learn how they do it. I had absolutely nothing except credit card. And I was, doing tiles for a rich guy, right? This is the only access to the rich guy that I had.
Right.
So I told him, hey, listen, I'll do those tiles for you for free. Don't pay me, right? Just teach me what you've done. How did you become so rich? Spend an hour with me, right? And he did. I practiced what he taught me until today.
Wow.
You invest in yourself, you'll get 100, 1,000 times more.
Right.
Then
what a story. Wow.
You know what I mean? I went to another lady. She was a financial advisor for Bank of Montreal.
Yeah.
And I wanted to learn stocks, right? I never invested previously. And I said, listen, I'm fixing your wires, right? Don't pay me, right?
Yeah.
Just teach me how to trade, right? Teach me how to trade options. Teach me how to, because for me that was like foreign language. What are options? What are strike price? What is out of the money, in the money? I've heard those things, but it's like
fancy terms.
Yeah, like what's hedging? Hedging for me was cutting a hedge. You know what I mean? But in financial term, it's a real term.
Yes.
So it's a different mindset, different vocabulary, different friends, different family. You know what I mean? And once you learn those things, even if you have nothing, you still can produce value to people who actually have something, and they'll be more than happy to teach you. Right?
Wow.
With people who are maybe less successful, they'll talk about the failures of others. You talk to people who are successful, and they'll share successful stories.
Yeah, if you and your friends are talking about like people or events, like you're at the wrong level.
Yeah.
Start talking about the future.
That's right.
Because the people, it's a waste of talking, and that builds momentum and emotion and holds you down, that chains you down. an event happened already. You could talk about a power of collaboration that's in the future. I share some pictures of last year because I want you to see what's going to happen this year. Like, it's going to be better, bigger and better. So we want to have you at the power of collaboration. If you're seeing it, we honor you for joining us from whichever part of the world you're in. Do tell us where you're watching from. It's always exciting for me to know where my audience are watching from, like Philippines. One day I had somebody watching from Paris, the UK, Africa, all across the US. I'm like, wow, what a day.
Well, that's the thing. That's the advantage. Some people think, oh, you know what? It was easier years back, right? When now the competition is crazy. It's so much easier today because you have access to people who have succeeded. Some of my coaches, and everybody should have a coach. Some of my coaches are in the States, and I connect with them, via Skype, right? Skype. The guy who helped me write my first book was in Hawaii. You know what I mean? There's no more limits of this guy's too far, right? It's different mindset, right? But today it's so much easier because we can connect with people all around the world, and there are people watching us from all over the world.
Yeah,
right?
It's as if you are here with us right now.
So you can pick like people who previously were stuck in their country and they were unable to have access to success. Today it's click a button.
Yeah.
Right? And you don't pay for it. Like you can watch this stuff. And I'm giving you golden nuggets, right? And then you can get them for free, right? So it's actually easier. It's just a lot of times the mindset is not there.
What do you think about immigrants who comes to a new country, land of opportunity, and they get comfortable?
Well, this is another challenge. You're absolutely right. That's where the mindset is, because I know these people were hungry, and they were committed, and they've done whatever it took. But the challenge is they have very strong connection to their roots. Okay, to their family, to their friends, and a lot of times I've seen it even in my own family. Once you start going to the next level, people start criticizing you. Now you're a big shot, right? You're all about money, right? You're not like us anymore. And because they have different mindset, you start sabotaging your success because you don't want to lose the love. The values of love and connection are so high for them that the moment they start succeeding, going to the next level, they hit the criticism of others, and they're like, you know what, this is not as important for me as my family and friends, therefore I'm gonna get rid of the money, the success that I have. And instead of helping your family and friends to become more successful, they're pulling you down.
Yeah, and as adults, you gotta know better than that. If you've gone through a school system, you'd know the cool kids at the cool table, they'll be working minimum wage while the one nerd, that loner sitting over there is actually the boss and the CEO. Right. So you gotta be that fish I think all fishes swim upstream. At least be that one human that walks upstream.
Right. And I think we're all humans. We all have emotions. Emotions are the number one reason why we do something or why we don't do something, why we procrastinate. And your friends, your closest friends, will influence you the most. They say you're an average of your 5 closest friends.
Wow, yeah, and that is true.
And they say usually that I hear this all the time. People say, "Don't care what other people think."
You say crabs in the bucket.
You'll say, "Oh, don't care what other people think. Just do your own thing and imagine whatever you want and don't care about anybody else. Just do their thing." In life, it sounds great from the stage to say it from the motivational speaker who's got millions of dollars and then people follow him even if he does this and then he has 100 followers. But in the real world, that's not how it is. And most people do get influenced by others. So instead of saying, forget what everybody else thinks, it's more of, why does people's opinion matter to me? Whose opinion matters to me? If a guy is, let's say, 300 pounds overweight, and he's criticizing you, or he's giving you lessons of, how to exercise, you know what? Take his criticism and...
he may be a genius at something else.
Right.
He may be a computer wizard, but not for health. So
that's right.
Is this why you need many mentors?
That's exactly right. So when you will hear criticism no matter what, and it will affect you, but you gotta install a filter to have the right mindset to know whose criticism or constructive criticism should affect you and which one shouldn't. So if a Warren Buffett comes to me today and he's gonna start criticizing what the hell are you doing with your money, I'll shut up.
Yeah.
I will not say a peep. I'll be, yes, please tell me
Yes.
all my mistakes.
Yeah.
Right? Because the guy's a genius when it comes to finances. When the guy is completely broke and he's on welfare and he's criticizing my finances, I'm like,
yes. It's not to be
I won't
rude.
even listen. I'm like, you
Right.
know what, buddy? If you're not making as much money as me, right, then I'm not interested in your advice when it comes to finances.
How do we measure success? Shouldn't it be by results? Or
See, success is different for everybody.
Yes.
It's so unfortunate that people measure success
By
when
money.
it comes to money,
Mm.
right? And that is so not true, because I've seen people winning a lottery and they're so unhappy, right? And now they're like, oh, all the fake friends show up because they want something from you. So success, like I said, it's a life on your terms.
Wow.
You have to define what success is for you first. And then once you have that goal, once you have that clear vision of what success is for you, and nobody can tell you what it is because it is for you, right? It's your life, your dream. It's not, my dream is not yours, and yours is just
Right.
They might be similar,
Of course.
but they're totally different
Mhm.
because we're different people and
Yes.
we have different friends and different goals. Once you define it, then it's so much easier to hit it. It's like if you don't see the target, right, your chances of hitting the target are next to none.
Wow.
And that's what people in unsuccessful country do. They focus on where they don't want to be, but they don't have a clear vision of where they want to be.
Wow.
And they're constantly saying this guy and that person and the government, and they have a million excuses of why their life is the way there is. But if you ask them, how do you want your life to be, they have absolutely no clue.
You're in that complaining and mourning and,
Yeah.
and moaning and mourning. Thank you guys for watching and staying on this long. It's an honor to have you. We're gonna go for a little bit more. Hashtag or what are the three M's?
Mindset,
Mindset,
motive,
motive,
mechanics.
and mechanics. When you do that, at least the people will rewatching this gonna be like, where did they say this? Like that is powerful information. I'd like you to hashtag that. And today is something I don't usually do. I usually do one live a day, but I have 20. We have 20 amazing speakers
Yes.
on stage,
Yes.
and our event is just in 5 days. So I got what's called a super pack. Created the super pack Tuesday because we're starting the morning off with you. After lunch is with Sunil Tulsiani, and he's a phenomenal speaker on stage and mentor. And then later this evening is Armin Shafi, and he's a phenomenal speaker trainer. And this is just a tease for what. Yes, video is awesome. But this is just so you get to know Jacek and the speakers and the authors up ahead. So when you come to the event, you just click right away. You feel like you know
right.
what's more.
That's right.
And then you can ask the right question and you'll get your golden nuggets.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and you know what? It's a lot of people, they feel overwhelmed sometimes by the events. They're like, well, why would I go to event? Why would I pay for it? There's so much information free on YouTube.
Oh, let me tell them a little bit about what I've done.
Okay.
The reason I've created the Power of Collaboration, and the reason I've bring so many speakers from across the globe who are the best. There's no magic here. And the tickets are not 500, they're not 1,000, they're not 5,000. They are worth that. It's costing me over 50,000 to put this event together. Even if I sold all my tickets at the price,
That's right.
it's not even 10% of what I'll get.
That's right.
So the reason I've created this event, because many people don't know what they don't know. So just come. I took care of, parking's not free. I literally paid the hotel and said all my guests, they don't have to go to the machine. I don't want them to write their name. I don't care what your protocol is here at the hotel.
Mm-hmm.
They said that there's a third party person coming. I said, can you tell them to back off for the 2 days?
Mm-hmm.
So anybody coming, other guests will benefit. They don't have to pay for parking. Like, I paid a flat rate to cover your park. It's not free. I want you to understand, I paid for your parking. Why? I want it to be effortless.
Yes.
And sometimes I just like to, like today, I have a car, I live in a condo, it's in the basement, and something told me, like, Raymond, just take an Uber to the office today. I was like, that's the stupidest idea I ever got. I'm like, I have a car. And the song's great and fun. I put the app on, it said $10. I'm like, shit, $10 for 5 minutes of drive and I own a car. I'm like, why do I have this idea?
That's the beauty of being free.
Yeah.
You get to choose.
Yeah. I have a car.
What you want to do.
I rent car, I lease car. I own many cars. The next car I'm getting, I'm gonna tell this story. I've created it. How did I create a car that don't exist? I went to the dealership and say, I want this car. I don't want to test drive it, I want it. It's a new minivan that's fully electric. And I said, I want it. Well, not fully hybrid, but mostly electric. And they were like, great, we're gonna locate one for you. What color? Okay, I put in my specs. The next day they were like, okay, Raymond, we can't seem to find it. They tried to call Montreal, Ottawa. I said, really? They're like, the reason I said I don't want to test drive this car, because I test drove it last year. I went into the dealer and said, here's everything I've got. Here's my deposit. Give me this car. They couldn't find it. Then back and forth, they said, okay, we're gonna order it from Chrysler. We're gonna order it from the factory. No problem. How long? 6 weeks. Great. Yesterday I got an email saying, hey Raymond, just so you know, because the manufacturer are stopped making 2019 and transitioning 2020 vehicle, and we can't quite give you the vehicle anymore.6However, the price you got locked in for your 2019 vehicle, we're gonna give you a 2020 vehicle for that.
Oh, nice.
not only did
We're not in 2020 yet.
not only did I I just give them a $500 deposit.
Oh wow.
And my value has just increased
That's right.
so much more. I don't even know the specs of the 2020 car. Yes, you give it to me. It's gonna be better. So you have to create. It's like I literally create another vehicle.
Right.
Like it doesn't have a VIN number. It doesn't have a VIN number.
You know, here's one interesting question I asked most successful people. Right. I asked them this: if I actually took you to another country when you know nobody, strip you from all your money, right?
Yeah.
When you're starting from scratch, because this is how a lot of you guys feel going to this event. I have nothing, I'm starting from scratch. What is my first step, right? So I asked this whole bunch of people who are successful.
Hi, Nav.
And every single one of them told me the same thing. They said they would first invest in knowledge and network.
That's it.
Because
Say it again.
you got to invest in your knowledge, and you got to network with people.
Because nobody can ever take that away from you.
That's right. So if you took me right now and said, you know what, I'm stripping you from all your money, I'm dumping you in another country. Okay, let's say Australia, because they speak English. I don't want to waste another few years learning the language. But let's say you're dumping in Australia, and I have no friends, no family, nobody there, right? And I got to start fresh. I guarantee you, within a month to two, I'll be making $100,000 deals. Why? Because I already have the mindset, I already have all the mechanics, I already have the motive, I already have everything here, and nobody can take that away from me.
Be attracting the same mindset of people too.
And I will just go and I find the people who have that kind of money, who are looking for somebody that will produce the value worth $100,000 or $1 million or whatever it is.
Tell me
and
about
boom, it happens.
How much did you invest in yourself, average, in the past several years? Lots. You'd be hanging with Tony Robbins. You'd be hanging with the best people on the planet.
I stopped counting under 50,000. when I crossed the $50,000 mark, I stopped counting
because his wife is watching. but he makes one deal. The last time we were in the office, he got a phone call and said, "This is $1 million deal."
That's right.
That's
right.
It comes to you.
Yeah.
It comes to you. You won't even know if you can fulfill the deal.
That's right. And then the funny thing was they were negotiating back and forth, and and then they said, "Oh, we'll give you half of the contract." Later on, boom, they said, "Okay, we're giving the full contract," and it turned out to be $1 million job. So, you know, I started with worrying about food on the table, and that wasn't 30 years ago. That was literally 12 years ago.
Yes.
Right.
And your book's going to be available for sale?
Yes.
So, yeah.
Yes.
He's
The book
going to have his book. He's going to have a booth at the event. You're going to get to meet Jack and take a picture with him.
And one of the most powerful things that you can do for yourself by going to an event, comparing, sitting at home and watching the videos, is the Q&A. You can ask us anything you want. Whatever is that is your challenge.
Yes.
I no longer I no longer use the word problems. I know a lot of people use the word problems. That's the vocabulary of a different country I used to live in.
Right.
I don't use the word anymore. But
it's like we have problems.
No.
Well, keep your problems right there.
That's right. We have challenges. Even successful people, they talk about problems, but they don't call them problems. They call them challenges. And when they talk about it, they're looking for solutions, right? So if you have a challenge with whatever it is that you have a challenge with, whether you want to start a business, whether your business is constantly struggling, or you're working so much you have no time for your family and friends and to have the life, you can come approach me after the event, during the break,
come as VIP, and you get lunch both days.
That's right.
He's gonna be on the panel sitting, and you say, Jack, guess what? Yassi, guess what? I have this issue. He will speak directly to your question, but he'll answer everybody else in the room. But answer your question. That's when I first when I went to see Tony Robbins the first time. I was in the back room for $200 ticket.
Right.
I could have stayed home and have a better view.
Right.
Because 7,000-8,000 people.
That's right.
The next time Tony came, I was in construction and had 20 employees, and subcontractors, and I don't get paid from. So I was kind of broke in that moment.
Yes.
Although I have a huge cash flow, it's like I just paid out and I just invoiced. So I have a chunk of spot where my credit cards are max again.
Yeah.
Because the company was growing very quickly. I needed to get resources. I'm like, I have money. I'm able to get money, but I don't have access to it right this moment. I'm tapped out.
Yeah.
And I took my uncle's credit card, get Tony Robbins ticket for I think $1,500 or almost $2,000. And I bought it 6 months before. As soon as I saw it, I bought it. So I borrowed money to attend that event.
Mm-hmm.
The night before the event, it was sold out quick. The night before the event, I didn't sleep. I was just energized because how much energy and effort I put and how I struggled to get the money to go.
Right.
Because if I slept, there might be a chance that I may wake up late. Or I may get into traffic.
Right.
I was the first one in the parking lot. Although there's a special entrance for the Platinums to get in. I wanted to be the first one in the line of the Platinum. So why? Because there's one seat or two seats at an event that if you have it, you're powerful.
Yeah.
Because if you went to a Tony event, the stairs come down the middle.
Yes.
And Tony always go up and down the stairs. And sometimes Tony go left and sometimes Tony go right.
You never know. Yes.
And if you are positioned in that middle seat, whichever side Tony goes, once you're in the moment, he will high five you this way and that way till you gotta start hiding from him. That's the amount of I wasn't there, and my buddy John, and he's my co-author now, and he's gonna be at our event. I said, John, where are you? I said, don't worry, man. I got your seat right here.
Right.
You just do things for other people.
Yes.
Right. I held his seat and it's all about I did that. I didn't have the money.
Right.
I didn't even sleep the night before the event. and I got so much out of it. Zoe, she's gonna be speaking. That's where I met Zoe.
Okay.
In the front row, like-minded people.
Yeah.
And she's now coming a year later to speak at the event.
How are you, my friend? Good to see you.
Good to see you too. This is going to be interesting. We have a live video right now.
Oh, if you want to get by, come. Does she want to get by?
No, yeah, exactly.
Yes, okay, come.
Okay.
So we're going to move this a bit because we're in there in the studio. Go ahead, my dear.
She's actually, I'm not sure how much you improved.
We're live. We can't, we don't want to talk.
Yeah, so you never know how life will turn out. And I tell you one short story because you touched upon Tony Robbins. That was when I hit the rock bottom and I was looking for mentors. I realized, I need knowledge. I need somebody to help me. I saw Tony Robbins on TV, and I'm like, people have to be stupid to pay $300 for his CDs, right? I mean, that's just insane. Like, who would pay that kind of money just to listen to a guy? So I was in the Goodwill store going through some junk, and I see his tapes, like one of the very first that he created, and $5. And I'm thinking, is this worth my investment? $5.
Oh, this is a great
know.
story.
But I thought, well, the worst case scenario, actually sell it on eBay, I'll make money on it.
Yeah,
right?
you will, actually, you will.
So I took it, and when I popped the cassettes in my car, I started listening. I'm like, oh, a lot of stuff makes sense, and a lot of stuff helps. So tape number 5 is a goal setting. And I wrote on a piece of paper all the things that I wanted to have, how I wanted to have my life. The very last thing that I wrote on that paper was, I want to thank Tony Robbins personally. If everything comes true, I want to thank him personally.
From that $5 tape at the Goodwill store.
That's right, okay? And my list was absolutely crazy. Absolutely crazy. The stuff that I wrote, I would never even dream of having those things, okay? And I wrote timeline. I said 10 years. Within 10 years, I want to have those things. Right? I want to have my own house.
Now I know why we're so
business and all
connected.
things, right?
I'm a 10-year planner.
Right. So it was amazing to do this, but I'm like, it's never going to happen, right? Well, guess what? Everything on that list, with very few exceptions that later on I didn't want anyways, right?
Yeah.
Everything came true, and so much more. I could be talking an hour here about those things. But 10 years later, a friend of mine gives me a call, and I attended many Tony Robbins seminars, and I'm like, I gotta go and thank this guy personally.
Mm-hmm.
And he always picks somebody else.
Yeah.
He comes, high fives me and whatever, but I can't talk to him.
Yeah.
I have no access. A friend of mine calls me and she says, listen, I'm running Tony Robbins seminar here in Toronto. I need people to help to run it.
Okay.
And I'm like, I'm there, right? So I was actually positioned right next to Tony Robbins, and then with people who paid like $3,000 or $4,000 to take a picture with him, I was standing directing the people to take a picture with him. And at the end, I'm like, Tony, I gotta talk to you.
And wow.
Exactly 10 years later. I mean, who would have thought? I mean, it was crazy. I actually went home like, I gotta check this paper, right? I was like, was it exactly 10 years? Like, yeah, exactly 10 years later. I shook his hand and said, thank you, Tony. Everything on that list.
My 10 year, when I was living in Guyana, doing bad stuff as a teenager, as a young man, I saw Bob Proctor, The Secret, on YouTube. 10 years later, I was at the man's house.
Look at that.
I was Bob's house. Like, 10-year plan, guys. Like, nobody wants you to think past 5 or 10 years. Like, governments don't, nobody does.
Yes.
Like, trends are changing. If you're too long on Facebook,
tomorrow?
they tell you get on Instagram. If you're on Instagram, why? Why is that?
Because you need a reaction. That's the biggest difference. People who are unsuccessful, they're constantly in reaction of the environment.
Yeah.
While people who are successful, they're constantly designing their life. That's the difference.
And that's one of the last questions I wanted to ask you. How do you stay focused throughout that 10 year? Stay focused, like constantly, so you achieve success.
Well, it's the old story of carrot and a stick. You got to have the right motive. That's what I talk about. If you don't have the right motive, you will start going for a short period of time. You will not last a long run. Okay, everybody wants to run a short race, and usually it's because they don't want what they have, and they go for a short run. You got to have exactly that motive. That you hit the bottom. You say, I'm no longer willing to live like this. Okay, because I know that if I keep going the way I'm going. It was bad in the past, it's worse right now, in the future it's gonna be a horrifying future, right? You meet that moment, right? Then you're like, okay, I'm making a change. And at the same time, you gotta have something to look forward to. You gotta say, you know what? This is what I'm going to have in the future if I stick with the plan, right? And you gotta have that stick, and you gotta have that carrot. If you have only one, if you only have the carrot, you're gonna get comfortable and you're gonna give up after a while. So if you only have the stick, right, the moment the pain disappears, you're gonna give up. If you have both, it will carry you forward.
Wow, the momentum.
That's right.
So you're just in the middle here, being drift along.
That's right.
So it's, if I can paraphrase, you kind of, I say it this way: you gotta know where you came from, and you gotta know where you're going, kind of thing, and constantly. But don't let the past dictate your future at all, right?
Yes.
Every morning we wake up to a new day.
That's right.
That we're never guaranteed to have, So we should make this moment count.
Yeah. You know why most people work for somebody else instead of running their own business? It's because of accountability. That's the number one reason.
Right.
When you go to work for somebody else, the other person has to design your life, and the other person takes all the risk and responsibility for your work. When people are like, you know what, I want to have the freedom that my boss has. I want to run my own business. I want to be free. I want to make the money, but they don't want to be accountable.
Now you're hitting the real point. This is phenomenal. There's so much golden nuggets here.
This is why people don't last in business. This is why 50% businesses in Canada that are registered don't even file for tax return because they fail, on the first year, right? Accountability. And if you talk to any successful person, you would think this guy is not accountable to anybody. They have a whole bunch of coaches. They hold them accountable.
Totally.
How are you eating?
Yeah.
How are you sleeping? How are you exercising? How many books you're reading?
Yeah.
Are you checking your finances?
Yes.
Are you spending time with your family? They have coaches
for every
that hold them accountable.
Every aspect of our lives.
That's right. That's exactly right. They're not their bosses. They're their mentors and coaches. They hold them accountable to get where they want to be. Right?
And it's like a supply chain. Or health, or finance, or spirituality, or family, or it's if just one is broken, you'll be wasting the whole other 5 or 6 legs. Yes. And so that's important.
Yes, absolutely.
It's phenomenal to have you, and I don't want to stop it, but today I have a super pack where at 1 p.m. I'll be going live again with another friend and mentor of mine. I'm right now with Jack Yasik, and later this evening I have another young man who is just breaking the chains in his industry. I've interviewed him a year ago. I've known him over a year, and you're just tune in back at 1 p.m. Eastern and 7 p.m. Be sure, if you're just joining this, watch this live again. It's just phenomenal. Hashtag tag somebody in your circle of influence. Just bring somebody along with you. Don't just get the information, because the more people you start getting into your new life or your motivation, they can now hold you accountable.
Exactly.
And you have an accountability team. And a mentorship is one level, but what are simple ways? We're actually mentoring them for free right now.
Yes.
And they can get more of that on YouTube.
Reading
books.
You know what's the problem with mentoring for free?
Yeah.
As much
accountability.
People don't own it.
Right.
People are like, you know what, I got it for free, I don't care about it.
Yeah.
The moment you pay for something,
right,
you feel accountable because you invested in yourself, right? And this guy is gonna call me and I better answer.
Yeah.
Right? So it's very actually important to pay.
Yes.
Right? At the beginning I was trying to scam people, right? I would buy things on eBay and then sell it at the same time, so I don't have to pay for anything, right?
Yeah.
And I tried to get a free event. I would go to an event. I didn't have any money, so I would go to an event, and they had a 100% satisfaction guarantee, right?
And you return,
And then I would go and I return the books and like, no, thank you.
But then you returned the knowledge you got too.
But I did nothing.
Yeah.
I did nothing with the seminar that I went there. I did almost nothing because it didn't feel like I owned it. All the seminars that I went and I paid. Yes. I felt like I invested in myself. I have to do something because now I'm holding myself accountable for it, right? So it's important to pay. The fact that this event is not free, it's actually going to help you.
That is huge. Like, I would not give it free because you'll have the wrong crowd. If you can't pay $40 for 2 days of event and have people flying in, going on a plane, I have a keynote speaker, Michael Tracy, the son of Dr. Brian Tracy. He has phenomenal knowledge. We have shared stage already. I want him back.
Yes.
Because we're co-authors now. And I've written a book with Brian Tracy and his son. And so it's not a matter of I'm trying to get Michael Tracy because of his dad.
Right.
I've been there. I've done it. I speak on stage. But because of my age and where I'm going, I want to connect more with the children of the legend.
Yes.
As I did with Les Brung and his daughter, Michael Tracy and Brian Tracy. And I'm in talks now, working on the contract to get the next legend. and it's a hint. It's a lady.
Yeah.
Think about the biggest lady in the industry. But yeah,
there's something to look forward to.
Yes.
This journey never ends.
Yes.
It's not like you went to a seminar, you know you're fixed. No, it's like when you learn a language, you gotta constantly immerse yourself.
It pays for
right?
itself too. You got to know how to balance yourself and what to. You have to go set the intentions. I'm going here to maybe meet people. Listen to the speakers.
Yes.
You have to set an intention. Set intentions, high intentions,
Yes.
and you never know what happens.
You never know. You never know.
That's
And
how we met.
Yeah, that's exactly right. I never thought I'd be an author. I never thought I'll have a multi-million-dollar business. I never thought I'll speak on stage to people. Right?
Right.
That was a dream. That was like somewhere out there, unattainable, and now it's a lifestyle, right?
Yeah.
So
At our actual event, if you think about being an author, a speaker, a mentor, more than 50% of the room is author, speaker, and mentor. Guess what will happen
That's
to
right.
you? You will automatically, it'll happen to you. It will happen. You just attend and see what happens.
yes,
Like, I've written a book on it, The Handbook to Become the Authority, 33 Principles to Go Pro as an Author, Speaker, and Mentor. This is going pro. Like, you can be an author instantly.
Yes.
We'll show you how to do that at a low cost. But if you want to go pro, that's where I come in. I can package and promote you and show you the different skills, and there's a little bit of techniques to move things around and what to do first and how to get on stages. But if you just want to get out of your comfort zone, if you just want to, like what I did today, I said, I'm going to take an Uber. It's like the craziest thing. I
Do
have
something
a
different,
car.
right?
I have a Dodge Charger parked in the basement. I didn't want to go in the basement. I just didn't want to go in the basement today. I called an Uber. I get off of the lobby, walk out, had an amazing conversation with the driver.
look at that.
New car. I asked him, how's it going? He used to be a taxi driver, and he says he used to pay $450 to rent a taxi. Now he's paying less than that to own his own car. So technology's like, I wouldn't have had this conversation if I'm driving in my car.
Yes.
And so it was a great market. And now I'm like, almost I don't need a car.
Right.
I want to do this more.
Interesting.
Like these taxi drivers, I drive Uber too, and I teach this in my book. My chapters, how to be a full-time employee and a part-time entrepreneur.
Yes.
And you can leverage so big
That's
on,
right.
on the tax write-offs if you do that. You have a full-time job. They cover your health and whatever and EI and CPP. Your boss does more for you than you know that your boss does
right.
for you. But if you think you're gonna get there and get comfortable and sit there 2 years, 3 years, 5 years, and not improving your knowledge and skills,
Yes.
you're gonna be a fossil and you're not gonna be rewarded for the stuff you're doing, right?
like that.
So bosses are good, jobs are good, but you have to keep learning new skills. I don't have to tell you guys that, because if you're on here, if you're following
right.
me,
You're
you
doing the
know
right
what
thing.
it's all about. Just
doing the
tag
right thing.
somebody else.
That's right.
And I'm so honored to have Jack. Like, we can go for days now, like with me and this guy. Like his
Won't
energy
stop.
level is whoa. And he's gonna be on stage. You're gonna get to meet him. He's gonna give you golden nuggets. He's gonna have his book there. Who are some of the people you co-author with, sir?
Oh, that was, you know what? That was so weird. Weird, I tell you, because
Listen to who he is co-author. Like, we didn't come on here to show off. Like, we came here to give you information, show you a bit of what you're gonna get at our event. But now, in the end, I just want you to know who this guy is.
And I'm glad I won't have enough time at the event to share the story.
Okay,
I want to
yes.
share the story with you guys because it's so powerful. So the first guy, I see him in a crowd of 17,000 people. He's giving this speech. I mean, the whole crowd is going wild. He's promising, you buy my coaching, you're going on a cruise with me. But he's telling his story, okay, and he's as crazy as I am, right? And then he's saying, I'm going to the North Pole. I'm going to race in the North Pole. And everybody is like cruise ship. And I'm like, I forget the cruise ship. I want to go to North Pole. I'm like, take me to North Pole with you, right? So his name is Raymond Aaron, right? And I saw him like, man, I want to meet this guy one day, right? But back then I had zero money. I had no money to invest. He was
17,000 people.
Right, and then he made $1 million speech, right? He sold $1 million.
Were you there at the
I was there, yeah, man. I was there.
I
at the
did
meeting.
not know that you were there at that
Yeah, I
event.
was there. I was watching him perform, and then the next day he went to North Pole. I'm like, I am gonna meet this guy one day. I don't know how it's gonna happen, but one day me and him, we're gonna do something crazy.
This
right?
story is phenomenal.
Yeah. Listen to the next one.
If you wait till the end, you'll hear the best part of it.
So once I became more successful financially, right? One of the biggest challenge that was in my family was my mom was living in a government building, and we never had any money before, right? So we always relied on the government to support us. And the neighbors all around her, literally all around her, they were literally turning her life into misery, right? And I saw her emotional, physical
environment
life.
again, right? The people you hang around.
Absolutely. So when I saw this, I'm like, man, I can't let this happen, you know. And I'm like, but what can I do, right? Like I was really, it really bothered me. And I heard Les Brown.
Oh,
I heard Les Brown's
I'm gonna buy my
speech
mama home.
about him buying his mom home, and he said, you know, my mom had 9 children, and she took care of 9 children. How come 9 children now cannot take care of my mother?
And most
of
them
one person,
weren't even her kids, wow.
right? And yeah, she adopted some of them. So I'm like, man, my mom had 4 kids. When my dad left, you know, she was taking care of all 4 of us on her own. Right?
One woman.
Back in communist country when there was nothing.
Wow.
Right? How come she was able to do this for all 4 of us? Then immigrate to Canada and then bring all 4 kids to Canada. And now all 4 kids are doing well, kind of, right? And
regardless, yeah.
Right. And then she has to be supported by the government? And I thought that's wrong. That's wrong. I can't let that happen.
What did you do?
Right? So I'm like, you know what? Motive, mindset, mechanics. I did all 3. I went to my mom, said, Mom, you're no longer living here. I'm gonna give you the keys to your brand new condominium.
Wow.
And I figured out
you add years to her life.
Oh, I can't even, I think she'll be dead by now. Okay.
Yeah.
If
stress kills.
If she stayed where she was, she couldn't sleep anymore. The guy next to her was a drug addict. He was singing all night long. You know, like, she couldn't sleep. Right? It was absolutely terrible. Right?
Wow.
So he motivated me to do that, and that's one of my biggest prides that I have. That you know what, I have that freedom that I created, so I can help improve quality of life for others.
Yeah. Not
just for myself and my family, but for people that I love and care about. And when I see that there is a need, I step in and it's like there, it's there, right?
Wow.
That's
took ownership.
Right?
You wanted to be that guy,
right?
That made the difference.
That's right.
You became the change you want to see.
Exactly.
Wow. As Gandhi said.
And the third person that also very deeply impacted my life was a man who wrote a book, Men Are From Mars and Women Are From Venus, right?
Dr. John Gray.
He's also using a metaphor of, you know, guys are being on a different planet than girls, right? Yes. And I had so many challenges with my wife, right? Like, man, why do you think that way, right? It's like, I'm a woman. I'm like, how women think. So reading his book, following what he says, some certain principles, created huge breakthroughs in my life, in my marriage life, right? Because I was really getting frustrated. She was getting frustrated with me. And a lot of times, understanding proper conversation, communication, right? Understanding the needs of the other person, and he made a huge impact on my life. So I go to Raymond Aaron's event, and he talks to me and he says, you can write a book with me, with Les Brown, and with John Gray.
Done deal. Yeah, like you didn't care how much that would be.
I'm like, sign me up, like, please.
That's all the people.
And I was like, that's insane. That's insane. And my picture with my story, of my metaphor, and how to be successful is right next to the giants that, you know, made the difference in my life.
Wow, that's huge.
So I'm very excited about this. The book will be available at the event. You guys can come purchase it from the book, autograph copy. You know, the knowledge that I put in there it's like it's like
It's
a pill.
gold- yeah, it's golden
right?
nugget.
You're looking at the amount of money you're paying for it compared to what you're getting.
Ah.
You can't put a price, right?
Yeah.
It's crazy how far you can go. Sometimes one simple idea can change your life forever, right? Like just listening to the speech of Les Brown of his mother buying the house.
Yes.
Right? It
It
changed.
changed your life. It changed the
Yeah.
whole trajectory of the entire family.
And how did it change my mother's life? How did it change my life? It's incredible what you can get sometimes from one sentence or one story or from one person, right? Don't sit on the fence. Proximity is power. Surround yourself with people.
We have legends.
Who have-
They're flying in
yeah,
from
like-
all part of the country, the North America, the globe.
Right.
I have somebody here from South Africa. He's here for a conference, which was 5,000 per person. Like, no lie, 5,000 per person. The room had over 50 people. That was a $250,000 American room. I'm just giving you guys an understanding of the people, the caliber of people that are coming and
Right.
agreed to come and speak because they see my vision of like, I said, how about the people that don't know that they need help?
Right.
That's the people I'm fighting for. Like the people, like I want you to hear this.
Right.
Like so, tag some people who don't know that they need help.
Yes.
They need
Yes,
to get
absolutely.
started somewhere.
I one lesson that I really found out to be one of the most powerful lessons that I realize is that we do so much more for people that we love and care about than we ever do for ourselves.
Oh, we forget about ourselves.
Because once you get comfortable, you're like, okay, forget, I'm not stretching anymore. But once you realize that people that you love and care about, they need you, they depend on your success, and if you fail, the quality of their life will go down.
Wow.
Right? That is something that I can't stress enough how important that is. Right? When my wife, I give you one example to finish this because I don't want to be too long. My wife has had her parents. Her mother had a stroke 15 years ago. And she paralyzed half of her body, couldn't lost her speech, really tragic event. But her husband, my father-in-law, took care of her for 15 years straight, right? And he did a phenomenal job taking care of her, right? We did what we could, but we didn't really have to be involved that much. And then one day, she gets a phone call and finds out that her dad also had a stroke. And now he's paralyzed. And now she's got to take care of, we have to take care of both of them. Wow. When something like this happens, when you get the kind of phone calls, you want to have that freedom to say, I'm not going to work.
Right.
I'm going to take months off.
And the money
my
doesn't
time.
stop coming.
And the money doesn't stop coming.
It's about creating residual
That's exactly
income.
right. Because you cannot plan for those things. Nobody's planning, oh, maybe my father will have a stroke. Maybe I'll have a stroke.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll lose my leg. Nobody's planning
And
for
you
those
shouldn't,
things.
but you have to have contingency plan.
But if you become truly free, truly financially free, that gives you that feeling that, you know what, my priorities are right now. Because if something like this happens, and during that time, when we were taking care of both of her parents, we got another phone call from a doctor saying that our daughter most likely has cancer.
Wow.
How do you stay sane when stuff like this happens?
Yeah.
But because I built that freedom when I can call all my team and say, guys, I'm taking a month off. I'm taking 2 months off. You guys take care of everything.
Right.
If you need me, I'll text you. I'll pick up a phone. But I'm not coming. And the money's still coming. Right? And you can tell your wife, look at her in the eyes and say, you know what? I'm with you because you're the most important person in my life. I'm not going to work because work is not important to me as much. And I'm not going to be forced by somebody else to say, unless you go to work, you cannot pay this bill.
Wow.
No, that's freedom. And I want you guys to have it. Because that is the most powerful thing. Everybody wants this beautiful house and vacation. And so, but when crises come, like they did in my life, in my family, I want you guys to have that freedom to say, I own my life. I don't have to go to work and pay my bills. I'd rather spend this time with my child when the child needs me. I'd rather spend the time with my family when they need me.
Yes.
Instead of being at work when your child is in the hospital. Because you have to. You have no choice. Because somebody has to pay the bill.
Wow.
I can't stress this enough. But if you have that,
invest in yourself and buy back your freedom.
But you can't design this today and have it tomorrow.
Oh no. But you must start
you know
someday.
what I mean? But you have to start somewhere, right? The best time to plant a tree was 20 years ago or today, right? Come this weekend. Learn how to be financially free.
I was you. We were all you. Like you heard, we don't want to pay to attend event. We went to the free one.
Yes.
But the caliber of people, like I have, my mentor. He's an advisor to presidents. He's coming.
Wow.
My mentor. He's coming. He's flying all across the globe. He goes into country where they have constitutional crisis, where there's civil wars.
Yes.
And he said, listen, and like the people that are coming here, I don't know if I can get them back even. That's why I do stuff in the moments. And this is happening now. I called all the people I know in the last year who are the leaders in their industry, and I honor you and respect you for the work you're doing and the amount of information you have and to share and to know where it's coming from, and it's heart-centered.
Yes.
And you really know where you came from and where you're going.
And I hate to see people suffer.
Yeah.
It's one of my life's mission to get rid of suffering.
Right.
Pain is part of life.
Right.
Everybody feels pain, right? I feel pain too. But when you can't stop the pain, that's when you're suffering.
Right.
And so many people are suffering and they don't have to, right? So it's one of my life's mission to stop the suffering.
Wow, with all the knowledge and skills, and I know all the different things you've done in life, like you're an amazing mentor to have. Like you can help somebody throughout. You're a dad, you're a husband, you're an author, speaker, mentor. It's phenomenal. Come and meet this man at the Power of Collaboration 2019. Thank you. Sobia, I see you're joining now. You're going to have to wait for this to upload. We've been here for maybe an hour.
It's worth your time.
But Sobia is coming in from Houston, Texas.
Awesome.
With her daughter.
Just make sure you don't bring a gun. There's no guns in Canada.
She is also authored in the Authority series of books.
Oh,
it's
fantastic.
It's gonna be
fantastic.
Sobia, make sure you bring your books and you connect with Jack, and he's doing phenomenal. She's a medical doctor.
Oh wow!
And an entrepreneur, and she has a foundation. She's doing phenomenal things. Like the people that are coming here, it's just come to meet the people, man.
That's right.
Just come to see who these people are. I'm a good connector. That's what I'm good at, and I've seeked out.
That's how we met.
I don't just connect with any and everybody. It has to be at the frequency, at the mindset. Like a whole bunch of thing goes into it. Before we even get into a business relationship or a real collaboration, like you can tell how much boundaries you have to get past.
Yes.
And I love collaborating because as a young man, I used to be a gambler, and I don't want to go into the story, but when you gamble, the house always wins.
Right.
I figure if I put me and 2 and 3 and 5, 21 people together,
right,
it's a guaranteed gamble. So it's like knowledge and skills is in the spot, and it's gonna blow up. And I just like to create something brand new that nobody have no clue what's gonna happen.
Yes.
And so when you come to the Power of Collaboration, you have no clue what's gonna happen, but it's not gonna be in the negative.
No.
It's just gonna be just only good stuff. Come as a VIP if you can. Maybe there's 5 tickets left. I'll post the link, because then it covers your lunch. Everybody's parking is included, not free because I paid. I'll show you the bill. I need people to understand I have to pay the hotel. I have to pay the hotel to tell you that, but I don't. Free stuff is not good.
No, because
the
it's
reason I've done it
for
is for convenience to you. I want you to park your car, get out, come in the conference, have coffee. That's going to be there all day. Have biscuit or whatever for fruits what they're going to put out during the breaks. Everybody gets that. But the VIP people, you get the special lunch with the speakers, pictures with the speakers, access to the front of the room. Platinum are sold out. Like the Platinum people who know who they bought their tickets because why? They want 30 seconds on stage. That's all they want. Right. They want to feel that stage time. and I give that for like $400.
Look at that.
Usually that's for thousands of dollars.
Yes.
So I left out a zero off of all the ticket price because I want this to be an event that's memorable. There's so many surprises. But I that's all I can say. But yeah, Don't watch on
Oh, yeah.
on the Facebook Live next Saturday and feel sad that you didn't come. Like
yeah, you'll regret.
just come, move stuff around, come. People are coming. People are coming. Oh man, I have ambassador. I have a guy coming from South Africa who makes millions of dollars, and he has decided. I went to his event and he invited me on the stage to speak. Honored, huge honor. He stayed back in Canada for a week.
Right.
This man manages multi-million-dollar assets and businesses. Stayed
Wow.
back a week just to talk to you.
Right.
I've created. I wasn't given lunch 2 days. I had to bite the bullet. I said VIP get lunch both days. Why? I want them to have a whole luncheon
Yes.
session with just this one guy.
That's right.
My mentors coming in from California. People coming from Atlanta.
Awesome.
Like we are here. You are here. If you can drive here, fly here, walk here,
Get here.
Uber here. I Uber to my office. This is the wildest thing. Can you give me a ride home? I'm 5 minutes away.
If you have the right mindset, if you realize the value of the event, you'll come. I remember I went to one event, and the speaker, I actually outgrew everything the speaker was saying. So all the business advice that he was giving, I already was practicing. I was thinking about walking out. I was like, it's a waste of my time.
Yeah.
And then the guy sitting next to me, we started discussing about what he does, and then I told
The
him
magic
what
happens.
what I do, and he says, well, how many businesses do you run? And I said, one. He's like, what do you mean? Why would I lose my focus from one business? And he's like, here's the problem with having one business, right?
He gives you the
And
problem.
then he's telling me all the tax advantages. He's telling me
to
about
jump here in a
the-
circle.
as-
Next
he's-
level.
He's telling me all the things that I can do as personal advantage, even if I don't make one more dollar
Yes.
out of.
At least you're not paying the taxes.
You save so much money on taxes, and you protect yourself in case of a lawsuit. There's so many
And
things.
it's not a loophole. To get this straight, the government wants you to
That's
use it.
exactly right.
It's
That's
an
exactly right.
incentive, and you
Absolutely.
can do it.
You
It's
gotta
not
have
a
an operating
trick.
company. You gotta have a holding company. You gotta structure your business totally different. So not the guy on the stage, but the guy sitting next to me. Saved me thousands and thousands of dollars on taxes and insurance and other things. So I want you guys to remember that even if you're gonna get phenomenal speakers and value and we're gonna blow your
Like
mind.
I don't know what's gonna happen. Like we can teach the whole thing, but we have equal and higher like people in the
Right.
industry.
But you don't know who's sitting next to you, right? So be open-minded, say hi to everybody, ask what they're doing. You'll never know. One person sitting next to me changed my business like this, right? Come.
So Sobia, because of you, we went on for another 15 minutes. We're gonna have to end this.
Yes.
We love you. We thank you. We appreciate you for watching. And my phone was ringing, so that's like a cue. We
Right.
gotta get off now. Just 4 or 5 days left. Saturday and Sunday, July 20 and 21, right here in Toronto. I haven't even posted a link. And actually, I'm not gonna even post a link to this. Ask me if you want it. Ask me if you want the link.
Yes.
I'm not gonna post the link because I didn't drive to the office today. I have a car and took Uber. It's one of it's the weirdest it's the best feeling.
Yes.
It's like I think I have a car and I'm cool, not cool but convenience, but I'm a little bit of a slave to that car. I have to drive it.
Right.
And this is because I don't drink anymore, so I don't have that just park and
Yes.
take a Uber, but just try that sometime, guys. Don't go too far and then you blame me for your Uber money. But that was $10 spent. It's like,
People think that money will give them happiness. The truth is, money will give you options. That's what money gives. Options, nothing else.
Yeah.
It's up to you how you use it, right? So you have a choice. You can drive, you can take Uber, you can take a limo, you can take a helicopter. That's all what it is. You have more options. The more money you have, the more options you have in life, right? And that's all what it is.
A helicopter. I proposed to my wife in New York
Oh,
at a
really?
helicopter pad.
Awesome.
If you put Manhattan best proposal, it's 17,000 views.
Wow.
Yeah. So I do the
Phenomenal.
crazy stuff, jump off a plane and all that. But yeah.
Still on my to-do list. It's just I promised my wife I wouldn't do it.
We're crazy, but we're crazy for the good reasons. We're
That's right.
going after the real meat and potato of what the successful people are doing. Come join us.
Yeah.
Be a part of this. The power of collaboration is when you come, you are a part of it. Like, it's your event too.
Yes.
That's the best part of it. It's everybody's event, and it's a pool, and it's don't drag dead weight. Just leave the dead
just
weight
come.
and just come. You don't need a friend or buddy to come. Just come by yourself.
I'll tell you what. There are immigrants watching this. They were learning English back home in their home country, a little bit at a time. How did it work for you? Because I was learning English back in Poland.
Yes.
And when I came here, I was like, I don't know, nothing.
You submerge in the environment.
Immersion is what causes your brain to absorb, because we learn so much more by surrounding ourselves.
The things that go on.
That's right, by osmosis, as they say it, right? So surround yourself with like-minded people. Surround yourself with people who are on the next level where you want to be. You can't go wrong. Okay?
We're begging you guys to come to an event that no matter how much tickets you buy, it's not gonna make me a lot of money. Like, it's phenomenal. You just need to be there.
Okay, I think we have to finish.
Yeah.
Thank you very much for having me, and we'll see you on the weekend.
If you're watching this replay on YouTube, be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and share this video.